here we are, again, at the hospital. Hopefully leaving the hospital. But who knows? Anyway, welcome back to the letter with me, Stormy. We be doing things. I guess that's all I can really say. We're just talking. That's all this game is talking. Anyway. A wholly different atmosphere meets me when I step out into the hallway. Sterile, placid, along with the sharp, bitter air dangling oppressively above my head as I make my way out of the ward. It stands as a stark contrast to the room I came from only seconds ago. With the whole place like this, Zachary's passing remark about Isabella years ago rings truer. He's right. There's always been this certain warmth she carries around her wherever she goes. The sunny, springy kind reminds you a little of home and those childhood memories so often forgotten. Something about envy and ignore in her, to the point of taking it for granted. But in spite of the circumstances she's trapped in now, it remains with her in that room. And leaving it like a douse of cold water. Every thought, every responsibility, every worry I've set aside last night returns to me tenfold. Someone has to inform BRC. Then there's also her aunt who works in another country. She needs to know as well, her family in the Philippines too. And though he never asked for it, I'm sure Ashton will also appreciate any news on her condition.
Bloody hell. This is supposed to be easy.
What do you mean? Call and deliver the news as simple as that. Offer small soothing words if need be, no matter how meaningless or how flat they fall in the other's ears. Yet, my hand wavers. The moment I pull my phone out, my whole body freezes. I stop in my tracks while my thumb hovers uselessly over the names on the screen. Her aunt, her mom, Ashton. The letter on it flickers brightly, almost accusingly at my stalling. How would they react? How would her family feel hearing this from someone they've never even met before? How do I tell them? What do I say? There's a million ways this can go, none of them pleasant, all of them out of my control.
But I can't simply pawn this off on someone else, can I?
Even before I agreed to be her emergency contact, I've always known the responsibilities that come with being named one. At a young age, I already did, and Isabella's trust goes as far as to put me in that list. If that doesn't say what she thinks of this little friendship, I don't know what else is. And now I balk at it?
That simply isn't how the Scotswoman in my blood does things.
Scots. Oh shit, is she Scottish? Wait, damn it, I've been doing a British accent. I mean like a poor British accent, but a British accent nonetheless. God damn it, okay. So before I'm gonna keep going with British, whatever. So before I lose the sudden resolve or stumble back into another cycle of negative thoughts, I press down on the call button. Ashton first. I think about how I'll deal with the others later. Although I still have no clue how I'll open this topic, the news is a far cry from a good one. But with him, I won't have to worry about the best way to phrase it. Word choice and turn of phrase notwithstanding, ultimately this all will just sound like an update on the situation for him. When he finally answers, however, a certain tightness in his voice makes me pause. Hoarser, rougher than I remember. It doesn't take the genius to figure out he hasn't gotten any sleep yet.
Becca? Didn't I tell you not to call around this hour unless it's urgent?
I remember, sorry. Don't worry, this'll be quick. It isn't urgent, but I thought you deserve to know about this as soon as possible.
Can it wait? At least until lunch?
It can, but I'm about to...
Rebecca, I'm in the middle of something right now. I can't really talk over the phone. I'll just call you back.
The shuffling of papers follows his dismissive note. He hasn't dropped the call yet, but his impatience and inattentiveness are clear. There's no need to guess. I can almost see it. The small scowl over his features, the way he reaches up with a hand to pinch the bridge of his nose when he can't figure something out. His quick, sharp movements while he checks and reads through everything with an enormous focus. Generally, I'd ignore it. I call him for an entirely different reason. Even so, the sudden nonchalance irks. Maybe it has to do with his own exhaustion. Without a doubt, he's been at this since the call last night. That part I understand. Still, would it hurt him to pause and ask for a minute? Do I always have to spell it out for him? Or maybe it's time to stop beating around the bush. Oh. So I feel like you could probably get Rebecca and Ash together. So I want to do that. He's not gonna want small talk. Fuck! God damn it! Shit, should I go back? Wait, did it update with anybody else? Fuck. I saved. We're gonna, how's the investigation going? Okay, that worked. That's better. Oof. Okay. God, can you imagine, like, can you imagine if real life had this kind of function? I don't know if I would personally use it because I just feel really guilty, but my God. It's just so hard to woo a man. However, knowing Ashton, any attempts to push will only be met with an utmost equal amount of bloody-minded aversion. Honestly, there's a lot of things he needs to hear at the moment, but bringing all those concerns out in the open will probably make me sound more of a pure arsehole than a concerned friend. We're in the same boat after all. This is difficult for him as it is for me. Never mind the specific or hows or the whys. We're both tired. Though unlike me, it's likely he hasn't gotten a chance to breathe easy since this whole thing began. Furthermore, Zachary isn't with him to listen like he always does. So if I can ease some of the burden off of him by holding on my sharp retorts and opinions, then for the time being I'll gladly do so.
How is it going, by the way? Any news?
The wrestling from his side suddenly abruptly stops. All of a sudden, a hush sweeps over him, and immediately I recognize it. This is him mulling over how to best articulate his answers, how to weave together those little truths he's not ready to brave. Because doing so reveals too much of those fears, his weaknesses, and what he believes he's failed to do. Unspoken as those may be, they echo louder in his silence. They all see through the tiny cracks beginning to show in the wall he keeps. It doesn't really last long enough to hold, and when he regains his bearings, the shuffling returns with it, less urgent, milder than his actions earlier. A soft exhale, and his exasperation comes at its heels.
Not good.
Not good, as in...
As in, we aren't getting anywhere, Rebecca.
What about the surveillance cameras? You said you were going to check those last night, didn't you? Can't you use them? It must have caught something.
Yeah, we got the footage we needed. Oh, shit.
Don't talk like that. They spent a good chunk of the taxpayers' money on those, didn't they? I'd be cheesed off if you can't even find any good use for it.
That's precisely what's frustrating about this. Those are top-of-the-line security cams. They're not supposed to just stop working. But that night they were all useless. The recording chose to fuck up the exact moment we needed them. How dumb is that?
His voice fades, gradually swallowed by the constant din of traffic around him, along with the words and every implication they carry. If he has found other ways around this predicament, he leaves all of it unsaid or has already been lost in the hubbub around him. Ashton's disappointment is the only thing I hear when he finds his tongue.
The guys at Tech have been trying to clean the footage since it was turned over. No promises from them, though.
Another round of shuffling follows, papers being folded and stacked neatly together, then the sharp tapping of shoes against concrete. Soon, a car door closes behind him with a heavy thunk, effectively shutting out the noise outside. However, he looks or feels at present, whatever's bound to happen next, he won't allow the world to see this one weakness, except the lull that ensues deafens more than soothes. He's quiet for a long moment, with only his breathing breaking through the dense air every now and then. Although the line still hasn't been cut off yet, I dare not speak. I've seen him like this before, and right now, even with the distance between us, forming a clear picture of him in my mind is easy. His head leaning against the steering wheel, hands gripping it like a lifeline, and his eyes shut tight in an effort to compose himself. He's angry. Not at what's happening around him.
Frankly, we can't move like this. We can't even find any witnesses. Those recordings are the only thing we've got. And if Tech can't fix those, if we can't even get anything out of it, without those, you've got no other leads. And this case is going to get dropped faster than a badly written police report.
But at himself.
If that happens, frankly, I've got no other choice but to let go of this. There's only so much I can do for her with all the red tape. Damn it.
No consolations, no words of encouragement. I don't offer him any, whether he's waiting for those or not. Those aren't what he wants to hear at the moment, despite himself. And sure enough, after another bout of silence and skirting around the topic, he finally asks. In a tense, small voice, too afraid of the answers lying ahead of one question, too wary of what people will see behind those walls already coming apart at the seams. But he permits me to see beyond it, if only for a short second.
How is she doing, by the way?
After all that, the least I can give him is a plain-spoken answer.
Comatose. Medically induced. She's on life support. They had no other choice. Surgery was stopped after a few hours because continuing would have been more fatal for her. They were losing their options, and her chances were slim from the moment they brought her in. That she managed to make it this far is already a miracle.
That's a little too optimistic. Is that how they phrased it?
No, not exactly like that.
Just give it to me straight.
The doctors said... Last night was a miracle. But they said we shouldn't hope for another with how things are looking. They aren't going to do anything without our consent, of course, but it'd be best if we let her family know. Let them decide.
I see. I expected as much.
Have some faith in her. She'll get better. I wish I could tell those same words to him with the same certainty Zachary does, but we're people rarely swayed by blind optimism. Ashton especially. He has seen her last night. He has known the odds even before the doctor saw her. It's very probable he's already steeled himself from the worst of it even before the news came. This one might seem better. She's alive, she's still with us, but when you look at it from his point of view, is there any difference? With Zachary, it's easy to believe there is. It's not too difficult to hope. With Ashton, none of it in his tone when he mutters a quick goodbye and cuts the call. In truth, I've hoped I'll somewhat be able to urge him to drop by and check on her. But at the last busy notes fade from my phone, chances of him ever doing that grow ever slim as well. He'll keep at this, and until he's exhausted all his efforts, it'll just be me and Zachary with her. The weight of what thought... Can we cut... Hello? Can we cut the beeping? You're kind of ruining the tense moment. Hello? The weight of that thought alone already feels staggering. Okay, thank you. Oh, they're gone. And also the vending machine's gone? Hello? If I have enough mental capacity to take this on right now, I'd gladly do so. Just to get it over with. But the way things are, and I am now, I'll only end up doing more harm than good, both to myself and those around me. Besides, the more pressing matter is getting out of this place. Because when I look up from my phone and finally take in my surroundings, only an unfamiliar hallway greets me. Brightly lit as the other corridor here, though oddly void of people and the usual hospital clamor. No voices announcing over the intercom, no beeping from machines inside the rooms, not even a single patient waiting for the occasional doctor or nurse on their rounds. I must have taken a wrong turn somewhere while it's the same hallway though. Like, I know it's supposed to look different because, the vending machine and the people are gone, but Dr. Vogel is still there. I'm pretty sure the other one also said Dr. Vogel. I must have taken a wrong turn somewhere while I'm busy worrying about the phone calls earlier. Thought it'd teach me something.
Of all the places to get lost at.
I've never... Just knock on a door. Just, interrupt a surgery. Just, creak the door open and be like, hey, I'm sorry. So you're in the middle of your brain surgery, but, I don't know where the fuck I am. I've never thought much of hospitals before. They're a necessity. Walking alone in a deserted area inside one, however, with the walls coming off too white, too clean in my eyes, and perhaps even too dull, I can't help but feel a bit queasy about it. A heavy, unsettling feeling lands on my stomach. It's a bit unnerving, but far more agreeable than the sensation of being watched I've been enduring these past few days. And I know I shouldn't do this here, but...
Hello? Anyone here?
I was joking about, yelling and, opening a door and yelling at people. You don't do that, Rebecca. Faint footsteps and a murmur of voices echo from somewhere. Still, no response to my call. It merely bounces off the walls before dwindling, until all I have for company is the sound of my footsteps. Admittedly, this is a bit disconcerting. But for now, I let the distant noises guide me as I walk along the empty corridor, looking for the next exit that will lead me back to the main lobby, or anywhere I can ask for directions. A good minute passes, and another. I'm about to turn and retrace my steps instead when...
Mother!
The sound of it makes me halt. Do we really have to do like the spooky hospital cliche? Come on, guys. It's all a little muffled and infrequent, but grows louder after each passing second. With the hallway devoid of people, I don't even strain my ears to pinpoint where it's coming from. Not too far ahead, in fact. Just past a sharp turn at the end of the corridor, and clearly, it's the voice of a child.
Where are you, Mother?
On a normal day, I won't concern myself with this, considering where I am. Hundreds come through here every day, whatever business they have here, wherever they arrived in tears or not. I've got nothing to do with it, and vice versa. Personally, I don't think a stranger's worries would do much when there are nurses and doctors already attending to them. But that also begs the question, why a child is here, crying, possibly on her own. Did she happen to wander here like I did? If so, I can't just very well leave her here, can I? I can't even find my own way out, what more if it's a child? Though I'm quite sure the hospital's a safe place, and the roaming staff will eventually find her, who knows what else might happen if I just leave her here.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
In any case, I don't have the heart to turn back on this, not when the kid's just a few meters away from me. I might as well check on her, make their job easy, and bring her with me to the lobby where her parents can easily find her. It's not totally out of the way. So gingerly I seek her out, taking light, mindful steps as I approach where her sobs come from, hoping not to startle her. My caution, however, is ineffectual. The closer I get, the more frantic her sobs become. I try to ease her fears by calling out to her, but...
Hey! Hello there? Can you hear me? Mother, please! She's here! She's here, Mother! She's going to take me! I'm not going to hurt you. Are you lost? She won't leave, Mother! I'm heading back to the lobby. Do you want to come with me? Your mom could easily find you if we go there. Mother! I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away. All right. Why don't we just find someone who can...
Suddenly she cries out, and in a flash her stifled sobs grow louder and more violent, fraught with fear and dread. It doesn't take too long for a little fact to register. I'm not the one she's talking to from the beginning. Whoever it is, she doesn't want that person with her in there.
Mother, she's here! Help!
I don't think twice. With all the haste I can gather, despite the weariness in my bones, I break into a run before panic sets in. Damn my own safety, but if something happens to that kid, not more than a few hours after Isabella's incident, at that, I won't forgive myself. I may not have been able to do anything for Belle, but this one's right in front of me.
She's going to hurt me! Help me!
I won't just sit this one out like a useless person. Another scream ripples through the air as I near the bend. However, this time her sobs dies down along with it. A wave of cold creeps over my whole body, and the entire corridor goes wholly silent. Quiet has never been a good thing in situations like this. In 3 more steps, I make it around the corner, bag ready in my hand. Oh, only to be greeted by a wall the moment I turn into the adjoining hall. A dead end. It takes a few moments... Sorry, I'm just kind of like, what the fuck is happening? It takes me a few slow moments to take it all in, despite the adrenaline coursing through my veins. No signs of the girl or whoever's with her. Just an empty alcove and a single painting sitting on a bare wall.
Where did they...
A quick scan of the area reveals nothing, not even a hint of a scuffle. The only way out of here would have been the sliding door standing adjacent to me, but even now it looks untouched, bolted shut to boot. The corridor I've been passed through, Oh, please, let me read. The corridor I've just passed through seems to be the only way to get here apart from the door. I would have met them if they tried to leave. I'm far from having Ashton's keen observation, but that certainly didn't sound like a simple tantrum you shove under the rug and forget about. Anyone making a desperate cry like that would have left things in disarray.
Especially a child.
Yet, I'm the only one standing here, in the presence of a painting that looks to be mocking me and the absurdity of my actions. Although, to be fair, the real Lady Charlotte Ermengarde probably won't be doing any of that sort. Local history has constantly written and spoken of the woman fondly, endeared to everyone, much like her parents. Her beloved child and heir up until she took her own life. A pity, but that's a lesson for another day. Above my worries over what I've heard and finding that child, I've yet to find a proper way out of here. Thankfully, I don't have to fret over it longer. Soon, another voice calls out from the opposite end of the hall, one of the custodial staff from what I could glean of his uniform at the distance. He doesn't bother hiding the annoyance in his tone. From the sound of it, this doesn't appear to be the first time someone unconsciously ended up here.
You there! What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I think I took a wrong turn somewhere.
Well, wherever it is you want to go, it isn't there.
I'm really sorry. I heard someone crying here and I thought...
Lady, this place is off limits to the public. Has been since a month ago. Closed off for renovations. Didn't you see the signs back there? Next time, learn to read.
It won't happen again.
Whatever. Get out of here, lady. Exit's back there. Second turn on your right.
Whatever. Fuck off.
Don't let me catch you here again.
Strange, though. He doesn't wait around for me to leave, and walks off after saying his piece. I'm not certain if it's because he's simply tired of having to fend off unauthorized personnel from roaming in here, or if he's just gotten to the point that he no longer cares anymore. Shaking my head, I step back from the alcove and prepare to head out, but not before taking a glance at it again. Not even sure what I am expecting to see before me.
Must be the wind.
So without another look, I leave it alone. Hey! Oh, you have a beautiful smile. You know, I was expecting like a bigger jump scare. That wasn't even really a jump scare. She just kind of smiled at me. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it, and goodbye!